In the vast and mysterious blue depths of our oceans, two of nature's most fascinating creatures gracefully move through the waters, often mistaken for one another due to their strikingly similar appearances. These are the dugongs and manatees, both belonging to the order Sirenia, yet each with its unique tale to tell. Our adventure with these fascinating creatures takes us back to 1741 with Georg Wilhelm Steller, a naturalist on the Great Northern Expedition. After surviving a shipwreck and finding himself stranded on Bering Island, Steller made incredible discoveries, one of which was the gentle sea cow, now known as Steller's sea cow, named in his honor. Sadly, this magnificent animal was hunted to extinction just 27 years after its discovery, marking a touching and significant moment in the history of marine life. The fate that befell the Steller sea cow could gradually be looming for its cousins, the dugong and manatee, if care is not taken. Beneath the calm waters of the Red Sea, the Indian Ocean, and the vast West Pacific, you'll find the dugong, a special sea mammal, swimming peacefully. This animal is the only one of its kind in the Dugongidae family. It looks a bit like a mammal with its tail shaped like a fork and its nose like a trunk, showing us the wonders of the sea. One fascinating thing about the dugongs is that they remind people of the mythical sea creatures from old stories. Long ago, sailors who spent years at sea would tell stories about enchanting sea beings, mixing truth with legends. These stories of human-like creatures in the sea go way back, even to ancient Babylonian stories about the water god Oannes. The Greeks first showed sirens as having human heads and bird bodies, but later changed them to have fish tails. Pliny the Elder, a writer from the 1st century, wrote about tritons and nereids that had scaly, human-like upper bodies. In Palau, an island nation rich in history, there are ancient cave drawings around 3,000 years old that show dugongs. These drawings are linked to legends about women turning into sea creatures. In fact, the word dugong comes from Malay and means Lady of the Sea. Even renowned explorers like Christopher Columbus and Henry Hudson reported encountering mermaid-like creatures, contributing to the dugong's role in maritime folklore. Dugongs live in peaceful coastal areas where they help keep the ecosystem balanced. In places like Shark Bay and Moreton Bay in Australia, dugongs are seen as symbols of nature's lasting power, adapting to changes in the world. But they face challenges because they reproduce slowly, which means losing even one dugong means a lot and shows how delicate marine life can be. Mating is an important time for dugongs, as male dugongs show off in a competition called lekking to win the chance to mate. Female dugongs have a long pregnancy of 13 to 15 months, showing how much they invest in each baby. This slow process of having babies makes every new birth very important for keeping their numbers up. And when it comes to manatees, they also have an ancestry and tale that's nothing short of fascinating. Often called sea cows, manatees are big, friendly creatures of the underwater world that perfectly embody the term gentle giants. These amazing animals come in 3 types: the Amazonian, West Indian, and West African manatee. They're not just another sea species, they're part of human stories and the wonders of nature. It will interest you to know that manatees have an incredible history linked to land animals like elephants. Picture these grand creatures which once walked on land with toenails for that life, now smoothly swimming in the sea. Their journey from land to water is a tale of magical change, with their tails adapting to their new home in the ocean. Manatees also have a special place in old sailor stories and myths. Many centuries ago, sailors mistook them for mermaids due to their enchanting appearance. In West Africa, people see manatees as sacred and believe they were once humans. These stories show how closely linked manatees are to our imagination. Despite their size, manatees move through the water with elegance. They can be up to 13 feet long and weigh as much as 1,300 pounds. They live in different places, from the warm Gulf of Mexico to the Caribbean swamps, moving around with their flipper-like arms. When you look closely at a manatee, you'll notice something unusual about its neck. Unlike most mammals, manatees have only 6 neck bones, a feature they share with sloths. This unique trait adds to their mysterious charm. Their teeth are also special. Manatees have cheek teeth that are perfect for their plant-based diet, fitting their role as the ocean's plant eaters. Manatees live in various places, especially near Florida's coasts in winter. Each of the 3 types is known by where it lives, from the Amazon to West Africa. Just like most sea animals of their kind, manatees usually have babies slowly, which makes them vulnerable and shows why we need to protect them. And did you know that the birth of a manatee calf is a big deal? These babies are often born weighing about 66 pounds and get a lot of care and love from their moms, who have a baby about every 2 years. The whole process, from being pregnant to nurturing the baby, can take up to 30 months. This shows the level of efforts manatee moms employ to make sure their babies are safe and healthy. The life of a manatee is a peaceful journey in the water, a slow and beautiful swim from birth to adulthood, helping their species survive. If a baby manatee dies, the mom takes a 2-year break, a time given by nature for her to recover. Perhaps one of the remarkable things the manatees and dugongs have in common is their significant role in preserving seagrass ecosystems through their feeding habits. As herbivores, they mainly dine on seagrasses, positively impacting the overall health of these underwater meadows in various ways. Their actions, such as pruning and grazing, entail the creatures feeding on seagrasses and munching on the upper parts of the plants. This natural pruning acts as a catalyst for new shoot growth, fostering denser and healthier seagrass beds. Exploring the dynamics of seagrass ecosystems reveals other intriguing behaviors such as seed dispersal. The digestive systems of manatees and dugongs are not highly efficient at breaking down seagrass seeds, so they inadvertently play a role in transporting these seeds to new areas through their feces. This unintentional dispersal mechanism contributes significantly to the colonization of fresh seagrass regions, fostering the expansion and genetic diversity of seagrass populations. Adding to this fascinating ecological narrative is the phenomenon of nutrient cycling. Following the digestion of seagrasses, manatees and dugongs release essential nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus back into the water. These natural fertilizers play an important role in enhancing nutrient cycling within the ecosystem, providing vital support for the growth of seagrasses. Bioturbation is equally a noteworthy activity with positive implications for nutrient cycling and sediment stability, which creates favorable conditions for seagrass growth. Manatees and dugongs, through activities like rooting in the sediment in search of seagrasses, can disturb the substrate, and bioturbation comes into play, facilitating optimal conditions for seagrass growth. Another impactful role these maritime mammals play is in the control of algae. By consuming substantial quantities of seagrasses, manatees and dugongs effectively curb the overgrowth of algae. This is important because excessive algae can overshadow seagrasses and compete with them for light and nutrients. Through this herbivorous intervention, these marine creatures indirectly contribute to the health and well-being of seagrass ecosystems. Despite the positive roles they play in being the gentle giants of the aquatic world, manatees and dugongs face the threat of extinction due to various dangers, many of which are caused by humans. Their story is not only about their calm and enchanting beauty, but also about how vulnerable and delicate marine life can truly be for these mammals. The sad tale of their cousin, Steller's sea cow, is a strong piece of evidence that indicates how humans consistently end the existence of many endangered animals. The Steller sea cow used to live in the cold waters near the Commander Islands, surviving tough conditions. But when European explorers came, it was the beginning of the end for this species. Since they moved slowly, they were easy targets and hunted a lot for their meat, fat, and skin. In just a few decades, a species that had lasted so long was gone, leaving a sad tale of loss. Today, manatees and dugongs face similar dangers. People are taking over their homes. Pollution and climate change are big threats to their survival, and young manatees and dugongs have to watch out for natural predators like crocodiles, which is a risk that gets worse when people come into their areas. These animals, moving slowly in their water homes, are especially at risk from the fast changes in their environment. Building along the coast and lots of boat traffic are big dangers. Some of these gentle manatees and dugongs often get hit by boats and ships, which can hurt them badly or even kill them. The low sound from boats can confuse these sensitive animals, leading to sad accidents. Plus, fishing nets and other rubbish left by people in the water make it even harder for these peaceful animals to live safely. The situation of manatees, especially in Florida, has caught the public's eye, leading to protective laws like the Marine Mammal Protection Act of 1972 and the Endangered Species Act of 1973. These laws show that people are becoming more aware and want to protect these amazing sea mammals. The dugong is currently at a high risk of extinction, according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN. This emphasizes the severity of their situation. The Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species has intervened by restricting or halting the trade of products derived from these animals, underscoring the gravity of their plight. Another problem is the dugongs have a long lifespan, often exceeding 70 years, yet they don't reproduce frequently. This increases their vulnerability to extinction, which emphasizes the urgent and critical need to conserve them.